You know, I've only recently gotten into 4K UHDs as a format. Before that, I was mostly buying DVDs and Blu-rays. I've heard that the 4K for The Thing looks immaculate, that I should definitely get my hands on it and check it out. So that's what I did. And today, we're going to take a look at both the DVD and the 4K. Now, I didn't ever buy a Blu-ray release of this. It seems if I did, I would probably buy the Shout Blu-ray that was released. And at this point, I'm thinking about it anyway just because of the special features on it. But we'll get into all that. Welcome back to the Ecto Violence channel. My name is Alec. Today, we're talking The Thing, DVD versus 4K. So let's first talk about this DVD, okay? This is a DVD that came out in 1998. It is the collector's edition. It is widescreen, so that's good. It has some nice special features, I will say. I don't know if any of these rolled over from a Laserdisc or anything, or if they're all new to this, but there's a commentary with Kurt Russell and director John Carpenter. There's The Thing, Terror Takes Shape, the 80-minute original documentary, the theatrical trailer, outtakes from the film, behind-the-scenes photographs, storyboards, etc., which you will find all of those features are on this as well. I didn't confirm if the storyboards and behind-the-scenes photographs and that stuff was on here, but I assume it is. Now let's pop this open. The thing I like about this is how pretty that disc is. Isn't that beautiful? I'm a big fan. And I also love these. So not only do you get this little printed insert, it opens up, and it doesn't open up just one way, but we'll talk about it. So the first is the chapter listing, and that's something that I've always found interesting. I love those in DVDs. You open it all the way up, it has a little production notes section with a bunch of photographs, and so I just like these things, physical things that I can look through, read through. I'm into that stuff. Now I've also heard that this Blu-ray that's included with this is identical to the 2008 Blu-ray, and so it's not actually a Blu-ray of the 4K scan. However, I might be completely wrong. That's just what I read on Blu-ray.com based on someone's review, so I don't entirely know if that's accurate. And you know, these are not just the only two releases the Thing's ever had. They're just the two releases that I have. So the 4K is automatically an upgrade for me. Obviously, from DVD, I'm skipping Blu-ray and going right to 4K. No, it came with the Blu-ray, but I also want to get the Shout Blu-ray, and that's the other one I wanted to talk about. Mainly because of the special features, so let's take a look at that. So look at this, the special features are unmatched. There's all sorts of extra stuff on here that isn't included on these other sets. It had me looking at this set on eBay because I think I'm gonna pick this up for, like I said, the special features. But anyway, let's get into this side-by-side comparison and we'll take a look at this. All right, so here we are looking at these side-by-sides. And I will say, you know, first of all, my TV is gonna be different from yours. My 4K player is probably not the same one you're using. My DVD player is probably not the same one you're using. There's a whole bunch of different factors that go into this, so, you know, take everything with a grain of salt when it comes to the images you're looking at here, but this is what it looked like for me. So on the left, we've got the 1998 DVD release, and on the right, we've got the, 2019, 2017? What year did this thing come out? 2021? I don't know. I'll correct myself with a note here, over there. All right, so if we're looking at these, let me pull this up. The first thing you'll notice is the right is definitely more crisp. There's more detail there. I will say the DVD for this looks pretty dark. And it's not necessarily this shot, because this is a bright shot. But so again, there's much more detail in the 4K, which you would expect from a 4K. And having heard this looks great, it looked great to me when I watched it. Now, when I put on the DVD, I didn't realize until I put them side by side just how different they were. How the snow actually looks white in the DVD versus some of these shots, the 4K doesn't look quite white, but I'm going to chalk that down to just my TV. So let's skim through some of this and take a look at what it looks like. Again, so the DVD is crazy dark. You know, I mean, I could have lightened it, but that would defeat the purpose of this video, but the 4K just looks excellent. You can just, for example, look at the numbers here on the side of the helicopter here and the letters here. How much better and clear that is. Now again, we're skipping a Blu-ray. If you're comparing a Blu-ray, it might be more similar to the 4K. Again, the DVD, I will say the snow looks more white. Whether or not that's a good thing, I don't know. And you know, there's different ways to process the images after you've captured them. So I will say that the 4K definitely looked whiter on my actual TV than it's looking right now as I'm looking through these. And so I get it, these are smaller images, so you might not be able to see the exact definition that I'm seeing, but the 4K, there's so much more there in terms of detail. So here we're looking at the DVD versus the 4K. This shot in particular, I mean, the 4K knocks it out of the park. You can tell what we're looking at. I mean, you can sort of tell what you're looking at on the DVD, and especially if you know what you're looking at, but look at that. You can see the gloves. You can see the reflections on the goggles there. Like, you can see the reflection on the binoculars there. Like this, it looks great. So again, I'm going to chalk this down to just how it's processed, but you know, I do kind of like how the snow looks whiter in these DVD shots, but at the same time, I feel like it's just the exposure. Again, so if you're looking at this, just look at this, for example. The color here, the yellow there, the red flag, like, those colors are still better, more vibrant. Hell, even the American flag here, you can tell that what it is. Like, over here, maybe. Okay, this scene's quite a noticeable difference, I will say. So look at how much crystal clear that is. Like, it's so dark over here, and I don't know, you know, I use a capture card for the DVD, but I'm gonna guess that it would probably look brighter on a TV, but this is what's outputting out of a DVD player. This is the signal that's going out. So, you know, in comparing these, just keep that in mind. This was definitely something I noticed while I was doing it, though. This scene in particular, the subtle green lighting on MacReady, it's so much better. It's just the 4K just looks great. I mean, again, the green hues in here look much better. It's so dark in here, like, and maybe that's, you know, kind of the vibe he was going for in that scene. I don't know, but there's much more definition and everything, and again, you come to expect that with 4K. That's what you want. This was another scene out that was noticeably darker. Like, the shadows are just insane. The exposure, like, turned down, it feels like, when you're not in a snow scene. And it's crazy to think that when DVD came out, it was like the format, you know, it's like, this is insanely good looking. This in particular too, I was noticing, I was like, I can't even see what's going on in the scene on the DVD, but the 4K sold it. Like, that's the thing about this movie, is seeing all these practical effects in 4K. You know, I feel like that could go either way depending on the movie you're watching. It could look really good or look really bad when it's put in 4K, but I think this movie is the movie for 4K. Like, if you're talking old movies, like, this movie looks great on 4K. Like, don't trust these images, get it on your own 4K TV, because this is not going to look as good as that no matter what. You know, I'm showing you compressed small images here, but I will say this scene in particular was another one I thought just looked exceptionally well on this 4K. Like, look at that. All these scenes with fire and stuff, like, like, you can tell I was, like, slightly off on the synchronization for these, but, like, look at that. Again, this is the output signal, so, you know, I don't want to be too harsh on it, but, because I'm actually a proponent of DVD still. I like DVDs. There's plenty of movies I just have on DVD I haven't ever upgraded, and I only recently upgraded the thing to 4K, so, and it's easily in my top 5 favorite horror movies. I go for, like, instead of upgrading a movie, I'll buy a movie I don't have already on DVD or some other format. I'm finally starting to upgrade stuff to 4K, though, but, like, look at this scene. This one is a little more comparable, but the saturation's real heavy on the scene there, and the 4K, just watching it was a whole experience, I gotta say. I really enjoyed it. This is another one. It's much easier to read what you're actually looking at there. I mean, it's not like it's hard over here, but just better looking. This was a scene I wanted to see and compare in particular, because they look, in my opinion, wildly different. So, like, maybe not this shot, but, like, let's get over here to his face and, like, look at the coloring on this. Now, some part of me does think, okay, the DVD looks a little more natural. The colors look really crazy on here, and it's probably just because of how I captured it and, again, compressed it, but I don't hate it. I like it. I was noticing how weird his eyes looked on the actual TV. Like, I got up and I was, like, standing a foot or two away from the TV, just, like, observing, because it did some crazy shit to his eyes that it didn't seem to do on the DVD, and I was like, huh, I kind of like that. Like, look at his eyes. They look insane, man. When we get up here close to his face, too. Look how monstrous this motherfucker looks. I love it. And then, again, just fucking dark as hell. Can't even tell that he's wearing anything but black. There's actually, like, color over here. He's wearing blue jeans. Oh, come on. There we go. Let's see that one. Okay. Another good example of what it's doing to his eyes and how it's making... I don't know, man. I really enjoy that. And I mean, there's probably some people that are going to disagree with how I'm looking at this movie, and that's fine. You know, what we need to agree on is that The Thing is awesome. So, before you write a comment about how you hate me and my opinion about how this looks, just tell me how much you like The Thing, and what your favorite scene out of this movie is. This is an interesting shot comparison because some stuff like the DVD doesn't look bad for this. I'm trying to get away from showing too much violence in here, but oh man, Kurt Russell's handsome, isn't he? The colors are crazy in this, and this is maybe my favorite scene in the whole movie just because of the practical effects here. It's beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. Look at that side by side. Again, I have to say this is just the output captured. It's not through a TV, so it probably would show up brighter, but damn, look how vibrant that is. Those colors. You know, it's something to note because some people get 4K for different reasons. Like, there's a lot of people who are in it for literally the 4K, like the new transfers, ideally, and for things to just look better. There's some people that really appreciate the sound aspects, and then there's people like me and other YouTubers who do these comparisons, finding out which version actually looks the best, at least in my opinion. And there's a bunch of different ways to, you know, look at it or appreciate this stuff, but because some stuff I'm generally like, I'm fine with my Blu-ray. It looks better than anything else. But, God, slightly out of sync, but hey, look at the coloring. It's just like looking at the DVD, okay? You get the picture, you understand what you're looking at, but over here it's like, man, I can see I feel like I can see dust on the floor. And I think 4K is probably necessary if you want to show a new generation of people, you know, old movies. They need to be able to look at high quality versions of them. Because if they look old, I feel like some of these people aren't going to be interested. And maybe they're not like, you know, the crazy people like you and me who are, let's face it, if you're watching this video, you're like me, you're at least semi-interested in the different versions here and stuff. But this is without a doubt a 4K that I can 100% recommend. You know, I did a video comparing the Labyrinth Blu-ray to the 4K, the 2009 Blu-ray. And my conclusion at the end was that I liked the Blu-ray better. And some people were like pissed at me because of that. They really hated that opinion. They think I'm just a 4K hater, and I am not. I am new to 4K the last 6 months or so. And I appreciate it, and I appreciate its capabilities. That's why I do this stuff. And I did that video hoping that the Labyrinth was going to look excellent, like I was going to be blown the fuck away. But this is a good example of a shot that looks better on the 4K. Like, just, you can tell this is DVD. If it was a Blu-ray, you might be able to have a little more harder time looking at these shots. But look at the hair texture here on the edge. That's a good indicator of, you know, the bit rate and compression, all that kind of stuff. This is so many people's like favorite horror movie, so I figured that was a good enough reason for me to do this video, because it's also, it switches out with like The Lost Boys and Fright Night and maybe Nightmare on Elm Street for being my favorite of all time. You know, just depending on when you catch me. And God, I really want a prop of this spider head. It's my favorite like version of the monster you see in this movie. It's so fucking hilarious to me. So spooky and disturbing. It's magical. So the explosion shots, look at that. I feel like there's much more texture and like you can just see much more of the fire and what it's actually doing as opposed to just emitting light. So again, a quick swing through. I think the only thing that the DVD has going for it is that in these comparison shots that I'm showing you, some of the snow looks more like you'd think it would. It's less blue. And if we're talking special features, they have the same special features. So if you have the means to pick up 4K and you haven't yet, I highly recommend getting yourself The Thing on 4K, because I think this might be my favorite 4K purchase so far. And it's just a simple release. It's not like a box set or anything with a bunch of special features. It's just, it is what it is. Well, this was The Thing DVD versus 4K. Let me know what you think looks better in the comments down below. Like I said, I want to get the Blu-ray for this, but I want to get the Shout Blu-ray for this specifically for the special features, so that's probably the only one I'll get in addition to these. And oddly enough, I don't have The Thing on VHS, and I need to get a copy of that. I really do. And if you like this video, be sure to check out this one and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.